Fourth time lucky. Hello, Womb Room. I'm trying now to record for the fourth time. So if you're here, please say hello, so I know that this works. And welcome to International Women's Day. I discovered yesterday it was International Women's Day today. And those of you who received my last message or my last newsletter, I shared a few of my own thoughts about International Women's Day and what that actually means, and what it means to be a woman. Have you ever thought about what it means to be a woman beyond a label? Hello, Seta. So when I heard it was International Women's Day, I was like, okay, so what are people going to be doing? What are we going to be celebrating? We have so much to celebrate as women, but the celebration needs to be from within, from inside us, you know? Not that we're told to celebrate International Women's Day as an external event. We need to allow ourselves to feel it from the inside. So accessing the feminine embodiment at a deeper level, particularly the womb space and the heart space and the throat, the whole body. This is a privilege of being a woman. This is a power of being a woman when you allow yourself to embody deeper the womb. Women, womb, get it? So what I've noticed recently is this must be the year of feminine re-embodiment, because all I'm doing all day is supporting women to re-embody womb at a deeper level, to understand what has held them and kept them back from feeling safe in womb, and allowing them to heal what is being held there, the emotions, the memories, the trauma. And there is so much trauma being held in women's wombs. So this has become very central to the theme of the year. Female embodiment, female empowerment. You can talk about it a lot, yeah? But if it doesn't come from womb, it's not solid, it's not real. It won't feel real either. Your level of empowerment needs to come from womb, with heart open. It feels like collectively and globally, women have lost touch with their womb wisdom, with their flowing currents, with the flowing of blood, of emotions, with the inherent creator energy that flows within and spirals within the womb. And I think it's very easy to suggest or to look around and say, well, the structures externally, the patriarchal structures, have led women to be inherently suppressed and resistant to themselves and to their own power. And whilst that might be true, there will always be something else to blame. As women, we have to look inside ourselves and really deeply understand where we're coming from, how we want to be received by the world, what we are allowing and what we are blocking within ourselves. There will always be barriers, there will always be challenges, there will always be structures on the external world that make it difficult to flow with ease, that make it difficult for you to be what you really want to be, free. But remember that these structures are pervasive. They've always been there and they will always be there. It's for you to find within your way to overcome your inner blocks, so that you can flow once again in your own stream. And this is what spirituality is all about. Yeah. It is about the body, and it is about healing from a deep level from within. And it is about allowing yourself to rise and feel more empowered from a place of real, authentic truth and experience that you've had. That's spirituality, direct experience of your own spirit wisdom. And for the woman, this is inherently womb wisdom. Now, of course, things can happen to women that lead to challenging memories being stored in womb, memories with a high charge, trauma memories. Sometimes it's not a memory, it's an imprint. It's an energetic imprint, which makes it very difficult to access with the mind. It's beyond the subliminal level. It's very necessary to work here, to heal here, and it's very possible to heal here. Because these imprints that are held in your womb, they determine your vibrational identity. So you can say that you are something. You can try to believe with your mind. You can act. You can behave in a certain way, hoping it will one day become a habit. But if your womb space vibrates with a contradictory or challenging vibration to what you are trying to portray into the world, it will create an inherent tension within. Because you live in womb, you exist in womb, and your womb is a reflection of where you exist. So the path to the external, regardless of what the experiences are that you've been through, is always firstly internal. Yeah. This is the joy and the privilege of being a woman. Because every month you have a reminder of your flow, your sacrifice. You have a physical reminder of womb. And men have womb too, but they don't have a physical reminder. How much easier do you want it to be? Everything is pointing to your womb and saying, look, feel. And it's a place of clarity. You will not be able to ignore the emotions and the sensations that are in your womb. They will come through clearly as well. The only thing that's not clear is your mind. So allow yourself to stay open to womb as you receive insight and messages, as you heal yourself, because your mind might just learn something. Yeah. Your mind might just learn something about you that allows you to change your identity, that allows you to grow in your identity and flow as a woman. So the journey of womb healing is inherently one of female embodiment. It's one of embodiment full stop. Because it's so base, it's such a grounded way to do this kind of healing work and trauma work is through the base and basic structure of the body, the pelvis, the lower chakras, sacral and womb, because they hold so much emotion, they hold so many imprints around our foundational aspects. And imagine you're trying to build a house, but the foundations are, you don't know what they are. Imagine that. You would never build a house without knowing what state the foundations were in. And yet, often, women are trying to build lives, families, relationships career success on a foundation that they have no idea what it is, and that's the womb foundation. And you will only be able to go so far in that paradigm, yeah, before you start to come up against constant tension, constant pushback, resistance. It's your own resistance and pushback that you're experiencing. When you start to address your womb space and what's living there, you will soon start to free yourself, to allow a deeper flow, a more real flow, a more nurturing experience within your own body. This is foundational, really. And it shocks me when I recognize how far we are as a collective from this basic functioning of being a woman. Basic functioning, yeah? What makes you a woman if you don't have a connection to your womb, don't have a connection to your heart, don't bleed, don't want to bleed, don't feel, don't want to feel, don't have emotions? You're basically a rock. You're not a woman, barely a human, yeah? This is real. It's like you might as well be a walking robot. If you want to shut down everything that makes you human, feeling, and a woman, if you can't allow it, if you can't give it space in your life, it's a very painful and difficult way to live. But to some degree, it's become normalized because women are so desperate to appear, to fit into the patriarchal structures around them. Survival has become about that. And I remember my own womb journey where I didn't have space to bleed. I was surrounded by men, working with men in a high pressure environment. Nobody else was bleeding. Nobody else was taking a day off to nurture themselves in bed. Nobody else had to hide their purse, their extra large purse that week, under their arm as they snuck off to the toilet. Working 14-hour days in an office, yeah? We have become programmed to try to live like men. And men have been programmed to try to live, to sustain the patriarchy. And it's destroying them mentally. It's destroying us, women. So when you are seeking alignment and depth and flow in your life, remember to look with a new set of eyes. And forget about what's happening in the external world. Start to focus on what's happening in your inner world, in your womb space. What's it calling you into? What kind of lifestyle? What kind of life? I realized I didn't have space in my life all those years ago to be a woman. I didn't know what it was to be a woman. I just thought, I have long hair and I wear dresses and I look like a woman. So I'm a woman. That was the extent of my feminine embodiment. And womb wisdom arrived into me through pain and disconnection. And when I started to heal that at a very deep level, womb wisdom arrived into me as revelation and insight, as empowerment from within. And now I'm here to share that. That's my work. Rebirthing in the void of womb is my work. And on the journey into the void, you will discover all the things that you have become filled up on. And that's the work. And it never ends. So don't become dismayed or frustrated if you at deeper levels keep discovering womb is holding more, womb is holding more. It's just a calling into the void. It's just a calling into your inherent seat of observation to become empty. You will one day arrive in womb space that is empty. When you arrive in a womb space that is empty, you can begin to alchemize yourself, which means you dissolve yourself vibrationally in the vacuum of womb, your own womb. Sounds bizarre, doesn't it? But this is the gift that women have been given. Women have been given this incredible gift of dissolution, of rebirth, of creation. And it terrifies women. Why? Because when you want to access that level of consciousness and those types of frequencies, a lot of the reason why women talk about persecution, trauma, and often I hear past life imprints of persecution and being punished really for being in their power. Lots of stories around that in ancestry, etc. It's a very real thing, right? So those imprints are alive. If I reclaim my power, I will be punished in some way. I will be ostracized. I will be burned. I will be whatever it is. However, the truth of the matter is, there is a bigger block to reclaiming your power than that. And the bigger block is self-accountability and self-responsibility. When you start to access higher vibrational planes and the void of womb, and you become empty, you have a daily, hourly, actually, responsibility to yourself. You cannot look away. You cannot look back. You cannot suddenly beg for ignorance. And this is what terrifies women more than reclaiming their power, is being fully accountable for their power and the way they move. If you think about it, every tiny little flux in your nervous system, every tiny little vibrational imprint that's moving through you and within you, everything that you're putting into the world is your movement. To what extent are you responsible, and are you taking entire accountability and responsibility for those movements? Most people are busy stuck, and most women in particular are busy stuck in a victim mindset because it's too much to own and be accountable. When you access the void of womb, there is no victim. There is only you. There is no world. There is only you and your creation. Imagine that you lived in a world where everyone and everything disappeared and it was just you with yourself. Would you be able to create something beautiful and enjoy it? Or would you find it quite excruciating? Because energetically, this is the highest reality. Nothing else exists. You create you every single moment. And the way you give your power up and hand it over and reject it is by claiming that something else created you. By dispersing yourself amongst other people of your past. People have contributed to your formation, but it's you that have created you. And until you're willing to accept that and be fully accountable at that level, because you feel it from such a deep place within you that it becomes your lived and breathing truth, it will be very difficult to drop the victimhood, the pity, the sense of injustice that prevents you from really reclaiming and embodying your power. because you will always have one eye on something else. You will always have that piece of your heart that believes that someone did it to you. Someone did it to you. Unfortunately, this is the most difficult thing to get your head around. The head doesn't want to get its way around it. The head does not want to understand and accept its power, the body and the heart's power. Mind is designed to create distance from power. That's why people who are in their heads find themselves going round and round in circles, getting nowhere, slowly becoming more and more disenchanted with life, with themselves, adding a bag of victimhood to the pity, to the lack of self-worth, adding another bag on the back to carry the struggle, the burden, the pain. This is what women are doing to themselves. This is the language that women have adopted for themselves and sustain. And there's lots of groups that are created, designed to support and reinforce this inherent forgetfulness, by making women feel like it's beyond their power to heal. It's beyond their power to rise and reclaim, to completely change their life, and it's not. It's well within your means, well within. You have physical reminders. You have spiritual reminders. You have this group, womb room, to remember yourself, to be real and authentic with yourself, to do it for you. So this journey into feminine embodiment through womb is inherently a journey of emotions, of trauma reintegration, of self-accountability, and of identity, transformational identity shift. This is the work of womb. This is the space of rebirthing. This is rebirthing. When you have rebirthed yourself enough times, you will no longer fear anything that comes, because you know what you can do within your own womb space. You go and you dissolve it in womb. Why? Because your womb is so still, it becomes the emptiness. Any vibrations become dissolved in womb. So let me know if you have any questions about how womb work and womb alchemy can facilitate your healing journey, your feminine embodiment, and starting to feel comfortable to reclaim your power. Because accountability is not that scary. It actually brings a lot of clarity. When you hold yourself accountable to yourself every day, you will slowly access much deeper levels of clarity within. You will know. Some people are scared to know. They're scared to see themselves, scared to know. But you will know, and there is nothing safer than that. What you see, you can heal, and every day you will see. This is the work of womb. Would you rather see every day, or would you rather be going through the days with your head in a fog, and your heart shut down, and your womb non-existent, and you barely in your body because you're so filled with trauma? When you have a womb there every day reminding you what you can do for yourself. My mission is to help women to embody their power fully, with integrity, mind, body, and spiritual integrity. so we can really support the birthing of a new world together. New world, how's new world birthed? Not when roads and infrastructure are built. New world is birthed through consciousness, through the collective frequencies of those who are willing to do the work, those who are willing to hold themselves accountable to a frequency. And that's daily work. Lots of people want to be healers. Every woman is a healer. Every woman is a healer. Your job is to heal yourself. This is what you'll be doing every day until the day you die, healing yourself. So you can either be recreating yourself or you can be creating more pain for yourself. And that's really your choice. You do have that choice. When I finally accepted within myself that I had choice and that I didn't have to keep repeating cycles of pain, my life changed. Nobody told me that I could do that and change my life. But I needed to change my life. I had an utmost urgency because I couldn't take any more pain and dysfunction. So until you're done with yourself, until you've exhausted yourself, playing the same games, running around in the same circles, until you're really fed up, you won't change. So get fed up. Get fed up with yourself. Questions. My period stopped early in my 40s. I thought I was menopausal without realizing it as a result of trauma. I am in my menopause now after 5 years. I'm in menopause now after 5 years. It's quite common actually. I've worked with lots of women who've come to me thinking that they're going through the menopause, and actually they're not. But they've never really had a connection with womb or their cycle or that embodied intelligence to really know what's happening for them. So they read a list of symptoms and then they go, oh, okay, well, my period's not regular. I kind of feel hot at night, a little bit anxious. I guess I'm that age. Have a little Google, put 2 and 2 together and come up with 5. Hey, I'm in the menopause. It's amazing. And then I've worked with a few clients who, after a couple of sessions, their periods begin again, regular. And they're so confused. They're like, so I'm not on the menopause. Yeah? Yes, early menopause can be triggered by trauma and stress, chronic stress, held in the body, and held in the womb and unreleased. Beauty of the menopause. I'll do another video on that. I honestly think it's one of the most sacred things in the world. I feel it so deeply. I feel like, gosh, when I come into my menopause, I'm going to be unstoppable. Like, literally. I feel that. It's a very, 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 very sacred time. It's like, I'll just say a little bit. What I was shown is that energetically, the menopause is the time of arriving. It's the time that you arrive into womb to hold the space because you've already learned everything you needed to learn from your bleeds, from your sacrifice. Poof. Powerful. Question. Most days I can connect to womb, but there are days that I can't, so I let it go. What happens? What can one do when this happens? You're always connected to womb. First, just acknowledge that. You are always connected to womb. What you're tuning into is language. Some days womb speaks a different language and you recognize it, and some days womb speaks a different language, another language, and you don't recognize it as well. But that's no different to anything, any type of communication. And then there is that feeling of what are you really connecting with? Sometimes you might be more familiar with certain vibrations in womb, and therefore you're more likely to connect to those vibrations because they're familiar, and you're therefore more likely to interpret that as a connection. But there might be other vibrations that are less familiar, that are offering equal wisdom. And really, the way to develop consistent connection is to, first of all, disregard any notions of what connection feels like. Secondly, assume you're always connected to womb. And finally, listen. Just listen. So what I do is I'll drop into my womb space and I'll just get a lay of the land, just feel. And usually I'm just in receptive mode, and I'm immediately in receptive mode, and I say inside to myself, okay. I say something like, okay, show me how you move, and then I watch. So I say, okay, show me how you move, and then womb will immediately start, and she's talking, and I'm listening. And then I tune into the heart. I feel it in the heart immediately. And I feel, what is there an emotional association? What's she showing me? Pictures being painted. It's honestly like the most graceful. It's like having a wise medicine woman with you all the time. Like the most ancient primordial version of you inside you, teaching you all the time. Guiding you, leading you to healing. Dancing. Does that help? It might also help if you're struggling to connect with your womb space to recognize what you are connecting with. Sometimes we can be impatient. So we drop into a space, we expect some sort of immediate, clear notion of connection. But we're thinking about doing the laundry, or we're thinking about writing an email, feeding the cat. So then recognizing you're actually connecting with something else. So try to build up a better understanding of, okay, well, if I'm connecting to something else, I'm making a choice right now to say that that's more important than this, my womb, and me. So if that's true, then go ahead and go and do whatever it is that you need to do that you're connecting with, because it's clearly very urgent and very important. Yeah. Again, it's also about doing the practical things to make space. How can you be in a receptive listening position if you're always rushing off your feet or busy? You haven't got space to listen. Yeah, you gotta allow yourself to really listen, because womb is a teacher, primordial teacher. So you're not going. Don't expect to know. The reason why I deepened so fast in my womb embodiment was because I assumed from the beginning that womb was sharing with me a level and depth of wisdom that I was able to learn from. So I was always open to new information and new insight and new vibration. I didn't assume that I know womb. Yeah, I let womb create me. That's the difference. So you do have to drop into a place of trust, and that can be really difficult if there's trauma in womb. It's very difficult to trust it because the sensations are inherently affecting the nervous system and bringing up those imprints that are taking you back to a time when it was scary for you to be there. So, or it's confusing, and the mind body coherence starts to break down. So those impressions are deemed threatful, and therefore you keep a distance between yourself and womb, and it's hard to trust. So you have to to cultivate this trauma integration and womb alchemy, womb healing is really important. So just saying that, we'll be on to our 9th womb room so far, I believe. Some of you have got better at counting them than I have. I think we're on our 9th, and I'm planning to hold the next womb sometime in September, I imagine. So if you are ready for rebirthing, it's going to be a very, very big one. Very big. I can feel it already, and that's why I'm leaving. Look how much space I'm leaving. I could run and fill a womb room every 10 weeks. Yeah, I've got enough people that want to do womb room. I can fill it every 10 weeks. But this is so much more. Womb room is so much more than running a program on a regular basis for me. There's no words for what womb room is at a consciousness level. Yeah, check it yourself. Tune into the frequency of the structure and feel it. It's another level. It's another universe. Every womb room gets deeper and deeper. Yeah, it does. And that I already know. How do I know? I know through the vibration. I know through the feeling. Womb room now tells me I'm going to be bigger than ever before. People have to be ready. Give them time to get ready. So the space. This next womb room is asking for a lot of space, which is why I'm waiting almost 8 months to do it. Every single womb room is getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and there will be no limits to how many times you can rebirth yourself into a higher frequency, because there is no limits to love. There is no limits to this space, to growth. The only limit is where you put your foot down and go, no, I'm not going to move beyond this point. I don't need to, I don't want to, it's uncomfortable, I'm too busy with insert mundane 3D activity. So womb room is a really interesting phenomenon because it's purely womb, right? It's a frequency and a container that is held really in womb, and I just deliver the work and deliver the message. And that's what's really, I think you guys feel it, like it's something so much bigger than us, and yet it is us. Looking forward to swimming in the womb room ocean in September. It will be an ocean, yeah, I feel that. I really feel that. I feel womb is a very powerful reminder. The womb room container is a very powerful reminder of the feminine embodiment and what you can do when you really embody your womb. The shifts that people have in womb room are incredible. The transformations, what they realize about themselves, what falls away, what calls to be recreated. It's big, big stuff, yeah? It's not nice to have. It's such a high vibrational space that sometimes I know it's difficult for people to even be in there, because it's completely clear. You just see yourself. It's not for everyone, yeah? It's not for everyone to heal in that kind of depth if you're not ready. Clarity is safety, yeah? My cat's down here. He's taken the best seat in the house on all of the pillows. Anyway, lovelies, I hope you have a really lovely International Women's Day. Support your womb spaces with daily connection, nurturing meditation. You can find my own the womb journey that I use and the grounding practice that I use on my podcast. Spotify, and enjoy. Enjoy. Let me know how your womb meditations go. Any revelations. You're always welcome to come and share your womb wisdom in Womb Room. Yeah? When you get a message from Womb, come and deliver it here. This is a beautiful space because you can be somebody else's medicine. So, just like I do when I receive message from Womb, I recognize, why am I going to be selfish and just say, oh, it's just for me? It's not just for me. It's for all. So, come and share your womb wisdom. And I'll see you all very soon.